Because a lot of folks who basically are research minded, are essentially thinking about being an IC in their roles or being in management or co-founding companies. And success, the definition of it is actually very, very different. The way I think about success is the fact that are you actually happy in the things that you're actually doing and actually getting it or not? And the biggest lesson that I learned is looking at your peers as a competition and having ego as to, oh my God, am I actually in the same point with them or not at the same point in time? That probably is the one thing that would actually make your life hell rather than being successful. That's the way I think.
Okay, so this question cannot be answered if we don't talk about what has happened in the last 3 years. So I keep thinking about when my kid grows up, what skills should I tell? Because software engineering would not be that skill, I think. And if you notice how many of us have built our career in software engineering, I doubt that the same is going to happen in batches going forward. Maybe next 2-3 years, but I think it is changing, and it's changing for good. So the more fundamental skills I think are ability to ask questions, which is curiosity. Now, I'm not saying asking questions only to AI, but in general, whatever is happening in the world, can you just ask questions? They might be stupid, dumb questions, but just continue to ask questions. And second is believing that, don't believe in any narrative, everything is possible, and like continue persevering. So I think these two skills are life skills that will differentiate people who will build versus people who will sulk. So go build, don't sulk. Right? I think we are going to see changes which are unprecedented. None of us can tell you that what those changes are going to be. All of us are experiencing it. But I think these two skills, curiosity and ambition, that you can do whatever. I think those are the two things that will help anyone sail through what we are seeing right now. So keep the energy high and go build.
Yeah, just to add on Sachin's point over there. I typically think of these problems as bits and atoms. Bits are basically you are in the software business, you're dealing with Facebook's sort of problems, and atoms are really hard physical problems like robotics, space, and what have you. There's a real danger for computers and AI just taking over people who are purely working in information and bits, right? Whereas physics is yet there needs to be there are still harder problems to solve over there. So I would just tell my kid to just learn everything that crosses both bits and atoms, because there's good opportunities over there.
I will just add on the similar lines, and the one example which I always give to my HR also very often is that when a child moves from class 5th to 6th, there is a lot which changes in the syllabus and course. But do you see the always we see the same children who are scoring well in class 5, they will also be the ones scoring well in class 6. So what is it which is not changing apart from the skill set, syllabus, course? It's the sense of learning. So if you keep learning, I think the skills come and go, but you will be the same person, you will be keep doing well, whatever comes.
So I'll speak probably from the perspective of, let's say, you're working in a large organization. I think one of the things, despite AI, some things have still been fundamental. Like one is, okay, the speed of building things has improved drastically. But whether whatever we are building, is it solving the real problem of the customer, or is the customer ready to pay for it? I think understanding that will always be critical. I think AI can give you some data, but that's where, like, when you get into something, I think look at it probably from the standpoint of a user, is whatever I'm doing, is it going to solve a real problem? So that, I think that is always going to be very critical. Similarly, whatever you build, is it functioning well? Is it like in a bigger when you build something like in a large organization, there's always this thing, like unless you are right the first time, probably you lose the steam. People won't come back and look at it. So building it stable enough. So these are like fundamentals which you will learn as part of your syllabus yet. So these are still going to be same despite the AI and whatever it is giving. So I think whatever you learn today, that's still going to be important. May not be, you might not be doing the same things as what we did, but yeah, I think.
Thank you so much, sir, for those insightful words. Our next question to you is for the students today who are just beginning their careers, what advice would you give them about preparing for future? And are there any skills, mindsets, or experiences that you believe will remain valuable regardless of the industry they are going to choose in the future?
So I'll take this question. To my understanding, there's some big changes are happening already, and it will accelerate only. So earlier, like we used to have skills like knowledge of a particular subject or how to do computing. Uh, those are going to be less relevant in future, and what we need to prepare is for problem solving, imagination, getting things done. So you need to get out there, understand the world, and it's going to be more complex, but it's going to be fun for you. And that's my advice. Like rather than going theoretical, go practical and get things done.
So I'll add maybe a slightly different perspective. So I work in banking, so I'm not a technologist now. Um, One way to think of it is when you all start working or start running your own firms or doing the great things that you all will do. How do you at any point check whether you are on the right track? How do you at any point assess yourself and see whether you are on the bandwagon, so to say, or not? And from a career development perspective, we've all started talking the language of moats, right? How do you build a moat? How do you protect yourself from the rising tide of AI? A very practical approach, which I think works, is to judge yourself or test yourself when you're having meetings, conversations, discussions in your project teams now, but when you start working, even more so when you're sitting down in meetings where there is some problem to be solved, where there's some brainstorming to be done. The good way to test yourself is, are you asking the nth order question of your team, or are you trying to answer that nth order question which other people around the table haven't yet come to? I think that's a good way of testing yourself time and again to see whether you're actually at the edge of where everybody else's thinking is or not. And we talk about deep thinking, we talk about constant learning, but I think testing yourself by judging where you are amongst your peer group, amongst your colleagues. Are you asking that question which people don't seem to have an immediate and obvious answer to? That's a good way of testing whether you are actually at the cutting edge of what you're doing.
Okay, one thing from my point, so I graduated in mechanical from a tech background, but over a period of time I switched into management, and so I've seen both sides of the world, from technology to how money flows and how money gets deployed, how the VCs make money out of it. Few things that I think are very, very important going forward in the future is that we cannot be just in the box. So just like some of us are saying, only CS, only PC, only Mac, those will not work. What will be required from the future generation going forward is the combination of interdisciplinary skills. So can you start thinking about your computer science with psychology, Mech with humanity, design with EC, right? Start thinking of that and trying to find that perfect intersection which excites you, which makes you a human at the end of the day, which touches your heart. That is going to be very important as you grow and find your perfect passion. It cannot be perfect. You will meet the first phase, and then you will realize that many of us get bored. So you'll start looking for the next phase and continue that journey as you go on. That's my advice.
Thank you for all those insightful perspectives.
So one thing I would like to say, which I learned the hard way, is that skills might get outdated, new skills might get evolved, but one thing which will not change and which is very, very important, if you might have a great product, you might have a great product, but if it does not sell, it's of no use. So what is important is that everyone should know how to sell. So learning this skill and ensuring that you are able to sell your product, able to see how to market your product, because the great products are not always the products which are great by nature, but if they sell well, they eventually become great. So that is very important, and that skill should be acquired, and you should work on that.
Okay, I just want to add two things. Guys and girls, please understand that you are into the part of knowledge work. You are entering into the field of knowledge work. So if at all anyone is thinking that okay, 4 years and I have learned everything, probably that's not going to happen. Okay, we have chosen to be in the field of knowledge work, which ideally means that we will continuously be on the learning path. That's what is going to keep us up to date on the edge. Second thing is that I'm not going to be a master of everything, right? Neither you. But everyone is going to be master of something. That's your strength. Identify that. Pair with the people who have other strengths. I'm banking on the point he has mentioned, right? And then cross collaborate and achieve whatever you want to achieve. So identify the strengths among your peers or whoever you collaborate with, and do not stop learning because we are into the field which is learning is the way. These are two things I just want to add.
Look, when we were graduating, networking was a $1 million, proposal. Hello. Yeah, when we were just graduating, networking was a thing, and $1 million companies were going to be made out of networking. Something else that really happened. AI is the thing today. Things always changing. One of the things this institute or this ecosystem is very good at is training for excellence. But one of the things I find personally is very bad at is training resilience, of responding to failure, of responding to setbacks. If you're going to push the boundary, the edge in anything in life, you should expect to have setbacks. And you need to figure out while you're doing this how you will deal with them. How will you deal with them emotionally? How will you respond to them? How will you overcome them? So expose yourselves to environments, situations where you will fail, accept small setbacks, and find ways to overcome it. Don't treat any setback as a life-changing event. Setbacks are part of success, and go with that.
The career is an interesting one. I mean, I'm really passionate about it. I mean, for God's sake, I work at LinkedIn. It's all about career. We're trying to increase our monthly active users using Gen Z, which is you guys. But all jokes aside, there isn't a straight line over here, right? I think what Abhay was talking about, what everybody's talking about, is the fact that it isn't a straight line, right? Do a simple search. Go to LinkedIn and look at our profiles. Look at the path that we have taken, right? You're going to see the fact that some of it has a straight path, some of it has a zigzag paths, right? It's not the fact that at any point in time you're able to define success, right? So when you talk about career and what exactly makes it successful, I don't think there's a point in time it says the fact that you're successful at this point in time, right? There are learning opportunities always going to be present, and I think I really want to second Abhay's point about the fact that you're going to face setbacks, and you have to figure out like how exactly do you overcome that, right? My advice is actually only one thing: like make sure you have mentors in life. Make sure the fact that you have people you can talk to, you can look up to, and if you talk to them, because everybody's path is going to be very, very, very different. Right? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we invite questions from the audience, we'd like to lighten things up with a quick round of rapid fire questions. Just the first thought that comes to your mind, short and spontaneous.
So, first question to you is one piece of advice you would give to your college self. One piece of advice you would give to your college self.
College self.
All will be well. All will be well.
everybody does. Do what you did. I think you did great.
The day the thought comes in your mind, start a company.
Yeah, I think you have to be adaptive and patient. So I think I learned it during my career, and especially as you're going for academia, these are few things you need to have it. Otherwise, a lot of things fails immediately, and if you don't wait and keep on working on that, it takes hard time.
What I would give advice to you is like when downside is limited, take maximum exposure. So as of now, the downside is limited, so whatever you can do, there's a limited downside, right? So you need to take a maximum exposure out of it.
Yeah, and I also want to add that take risks, because that's what I tell a lot of the college mates. College people who are still in college. If you cannot take risk now, the time to take risk will be much less later. So you have a lot of leverage to take risks. As like Sachin was saying, if you want to build a startup or do anything, this is the time to do it. And don't worry too much, man. Be happy. Just take risks. Okay.
Okay, so this second question is, in one word, how would you describe your IIT Guwahati experience? I'd like if everyone could like pass the mic around and answer in one word. Yeah. In one word, how would you describe your IIT Guwahati experience?
Intense.
एक शब्द में.
Intense.
Resilience. Transformative.
Testing the grit.
Wait, guys. Let me give you the example of our answer that we want. In one word, describe your life at IIT Guwahati. Sardar Special.
Not many people know it. Not many people know that are memorable. I would say curiosity.
Amazing intellectual growth. Growth.
Moving.
Happy. Exploring the horizons.
Memorable.
Jugaad.
Friendships.
It was great. Yeah. I grew not by knowledge or anything, by weight.
Transformative.
Foundational. Bhala se.
Maggie.
See, that's the answer.
I will say it was a lot of fun.
So first 3 years it was like a lot of learning. Fourth year it was all fun.
I would say memorable. I will say confidence. It feels that you can do anything. It's a different thing that you don't do.
Friends for life. Friends for life.
I will cheat since so many people are using multiple words. My first word is Rajma. And my second one is formative. With Aloo.
Learning.
Superpower. I can do it. I can do anything. Whatever they have said, everything. The manager, right? Starting phase for my professional life.
Thank you. Those were wonderful responses. And now we'd like to turn the conversation over to all of you. If you have a question for our alumni, please raise your hand. Our volunteers will bring the mic to you. We request everyone to keep their questions brief so that we can include as many participants as possible.
Can we also ask questions to them? How many of you want to get into education and teach? Raise hands. Yeah. Don't leave that thought, whatever buggers around you, talk startup, this, that. Just do that. There are a few of us here, and you will get influenced by ye kya kar raha hai. If your calling is teaching, just teach. How many of you will start startups in the next 4 years? If one of you also raise their hand down after that, like don't. The best time is today, I just told you, right? So please start startups. It's okay to fail. Yeah, those 2 questions. Rest everything is, I think you'll figure out. Now you can ask questions.
Sir, I had a question that, as I'm a fresher, that I wanted to ask that over the course of 4 years, how do we encounter failure? How do we build resilience in our lives? That's my question.
I'll say bounce back as soon as possible.
Anybody else wants to answer this? This is a good question.
It's a great question. I think instead of trying to give you a lot of motivational gyan, I think a practical piece of advice would be have friends around you. That's the thing that will get you through challenges.
Okay, I just want to say onto that. See, there's never a good time. In all these situations where you think you are at the bottom of it, right? Just think about what can I do now? What is my next best action? And this I am saying not just for this particular situation of 4 years, but all the way throughout in the life. There will be many occasions where you would see that, well, this is it, right? I could have done better. Well, it never matters. I always could have done better. But given the circumstances, what is my best action at this moment? And I think that is what will make a lot of difference.
Two ways you can build resilience, okay? First thing is you always see light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever length the tunnel is, always it will end somewhere. Second thing is always think nothing is going to be worse than when you are married. So you will have much more pressure to deal with when you are married. So you cannot face as much pressure or whatever stress in job in any time. I can assure you.
So I think what I would like to say is you put restriction to yourself. Be free. I think that's the key. I think what happens is anything that comes to it, don't restrict yourself. We have all lot of situations happens when you're in 4 years, right? Just be free and then try to test it out, fail, have friends, all of that, but don't put restriction. That's the key. That'll help you.
Two things from my side. One is have the strong support system. It could be in the form of your parents, your friends, or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And the second point is that be mentally strong. Like, for example, there are certain things like doing meditation. Those can actually make you mentally more stronger. So do follow those things. They will help actually.
Okay, so most of you know that most of the stories that you have heard so far are from when there was nothing here. But I'll tell you a story where we had something and we still failed. So Daddu, Bhatia and I were the programming team.
ACM ICPC.
ACM ICPC, yes. So this is an opportunity. Like we knew C, we knew coding, we had powerful computers, we had professors, so we had everything, right? And this is a case where we had to go try compete with other people outside IIT, right? And I think we got third or fourth in the Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And the first two teams, they're from Bangladesh, both the teams, right? And it kind of, for me personally, it taught me like, oh, I'm not the only one who's programming on this planet, right? There are so many other people solving problems, like putting things together and trying new things and failing, right? So try, and have a support system. Everything what everyone said here, and you will automatically build that resilience for failure. That's my thing.
I want to add to that. I mean, absolutely. The reason why you failed is because you acted upon. The reason why you build a muscle, the way you build the muscle is first the muscle tears apart. It gets hurt and then it gets built stronger. That is the way human grows. That's way your mind grows. That's how growth happens all the time. So you failed, congratulations. I feel lucky that I failed earlier in my life. Not the first time JEE I qualified. I had to attempt again, right? Not the best college I wanted to go to. I wanted to go to IIT Bombay. I did not. I mean, failure after failure after. I wrote a LinkedIn post also explaining my kids that failure is such an important thing should happen in your life that gets you thinking about how to handle failure later in your life. I feel pity for people who never failed in their life. In their 40s, they fail. They don't know how to handle it at all. So I feel very happy. I myself failed multiple times at multiple stages, at startups, at career, in everything. But that is why I consider myself successful. So be lucky that you failed because you acted. But after that, make sure that you are having a good social support, right? Which is what will help you to rise further.
I'll just say one thing on this. So failure is hard. Everybody feels it pretty hard in their whenever they are encountering that emotion. But there are very few one-way doors in life. So be kind to yourself. It'll all be okay. I think just telling yourself that gives you some space.
Yeah, I mean, I will just add resilience is a bigger meaning to me. So just for example, if you failed an exam and your professor give you another chance to make it up, that's building resilience. So that's similarly keep on giving your chance as long as you can give and be successful, right? So that is how you can build resilience.
The number of people answering this question can tell you that how relatable this is. So we have all failed, and it is okay.
Yeah, I would also add one more angle. You don't have to actually wait for something to happen to you and then start thinking about how to build resilience. It can also be something you just normalize in your life. Pick one or two really difficult things that scare you and just do it every day. I know a friend of mine who was not a good runner, but he challenged himself to run some marathon race in 2 years' time. And then he had a lot of injuries along the way and he built it up. Similarly, in my case, I've had a few knocks. The way I have built it, I've dealt with it is I talk. I never sit and sulk about it or get very internal with it. Like I think people have already mentioned, have mentors, have friends, talk. It's very important. If you don't have anyone to talk, just talk to random people on the road. It works, trust me. Because you can talk about it clearly and they will not have like ye kya kar diya tune, so these are some things that I figured out at least along the way. Normalize it. Please don't wait for something big to happen and then start figuring out कि अब मैं क्या करूँगा. Usually you will be under too much stress at that time.
What is a common mistake you think we should avoid as students?
Could you repeat that question?
What is a common mistake you think we should avoid as students?
Repeating the mistake and learning from it. That's the only one rule.
Not asking enough times what makes you happy and what do you want. Don't make that mistake.
When we are starting any new thing, then how should we overcome the fear and overthinking? Especially overthinking part I am interested in because I'm quite a overthinker of many things.
Action.
There is some reason you are calling it overthinking. Is that a feedback from other people or you realize it's overthinking?
So I realize I could do better by working than just thinking. But then the time is...
Then act. Don't think and act.
You have your answer.
But I think, see, Bhatia, what he's getting at, the essence of this is, see, if you overanalyze, you are wasting time in analyzing too. So do anything iteratively, and if you do iteratively, you'll figure out if it's the right path or the wrong path, right? So if you overthink, oh, this project is too big, it's going to take 6 months, let me make a project plan and figure out, and this assignment is too big, right? If you do it in stages and keep, you'll figure out some path, right? If you keep thinking now, the time you wasted thinking is not worth it anyway, right? So just do it.
I'll add one more thing to that. Perfection. You keep thinking that you have to get the perfect solution or the right solution on the very first go, right? So to add to what Varun said, just get to like that 60% idea, do it, and iterate on top of it, right? Don't wait for perfection. There's nothing called perfect software, perfect product. Everything is iterative.
Sometimes overthinking is also a sign or an indication that what you're trying to do, you're actually not very passionate about it. And that's a self-feedback mechanism that you need to ask yourself why you want to do it. And if you're not truly passionate about it, then rethink it.
While you've got many good advices, I was wondering whether you are really talking about a project or proposing a girl.
What I will say is, I have been guilty of overthinking for a large part of my life. I still am. I think it's a sign of arrogance. So just remember, you are overthinking because you associate too much weight on your intelligence, but there's value in interaction in finding out what the real problems are and actually trying to solve them and solving problems. And there's a difference between planning to solve the problem and solving the problems. So try to bring about some balance. Commit yourself to solving a problem, not just planning a solution for it.
Oh, I want to first say the fact that I don't know if it's a problem, right? I think you're thinking it's a problem. It's who you are. Like it's an over-analysis. Analysis paralysis can happen to multiple people. I give an example from one of the people over here, actually, right? I'll actually give you the example of Panda, right? So we used to have assignments due at the end of the week, right? And I would probably start on a Friday and try to do it.